Alright guys, today's video I'm going to talk about the 3 pre's for soybean spring burn down herbicide for early weed control. Alright guys, so the video you're about to watch I had recorded yesterday when I got home from picking up my herbicide. I had just finished editing it last night. I had it all ready to go for today, and I went through my subscriptions here on YouTube, and I saw AgPHD, their video that they released yesterday. They did cover the 3 pre's of soybean spring burn down. So I was debating whether it was worthwhile to upload my video because there was a lot of information that crosses over from their video, and those guys are more of an authority on the subject than I am by far. So I just figured I would put this in the beginning of the video. This was my video from yesterday. I figured I'll post my video anyway. It made me feel good when I watched it because the products that I had done my research on and picked out to use were the same products that they were recommending. So it was kind of a confirmation on what I had chosen here for the farm. So the reason I'm going to post it, they give you a couple choices depending on whether you're a tillage farmer or a no-till farmer, and they also didn't cover the generic versions, which I had bought 2 of the generic versions just because it's a little bit more affordable. So I think there's some good information in my video maybe, but like I say, if you're really looking for the true information, I would go to AgPHD and I would watch their video on the 3 pre's for soybean spring burn down. So enjoy the video, guys. Alright guys, welcome back. I just wanted to make a short video here on the 3 pre's, what I'm planning to do to help control the weeds in the soybeans. So again, I'm a no-till farmer, so this is a little bit more of a step than most guys would have to take. Most guys would just do tillage for the soybeans, but we don't do tillage here simply because my ground is too erodible. It's very highly erodible land, and I want to try to keep the dirt where it belongs. So I'm a no-till farmer out of necessity, and that's just about the short of it. So anyway, I want to get into the 3 pre's of my herbicide program here for soybeans. So I've got 3 different herbicides here, 3 modes of action. You hear people talk about different modes of action, and basically these are 3 different groupings of herbicides to help control different kinds of weeds, some for grass, some for broadleaves, and we have 3 different ways that it affects weeds to kill off your weeds. So 3 different ways, that way we're covered. I had such a problem with weeds last year, mainly mare's tail is the biggest one. You've heard me talk about it over and over again. Last year I relied on glyphosate way too much, and all that did was fertilize the mare's tail. And what ended up happening was once the beans were coming up, I had to do an extra application of in crop. So I had to spray the beans 2 times for weeds in crop, which is not always the best. Your best bet is to start fairly early with a burn down with some residual to help keep your weeds at bay, get your beans planted, and once the beans come up, come back with an in crop, and that should be the way we're going to do it here this year. So I want to talk about what I got here as far as the 3 pre's. We'll start with Prowl H2O herbicide. This is a group 3 herbicide, and this here we're going to mix with Dimetric EXT. This is a group 5 herbicide. Dimetric is a generic version of metribuzin. You've heard of metribuzin. This is a dry product. The Prowl is a liquid. This is a dry. It'll have to be mixed up pretty good in your tank, agitated very well. And we're going to top it all off with, if I can pronounce it, this is the generic version of Valor. You've probably heard of Valor. This is a group 14 herbicide. Flumioxin. I always just shorten it to flumoxin, but it's however you want to say it. That's what it is. It's the generic version of Valor. So we've got that. let me, I have a cheat sheet here of the rates, what the rates are calling for. Let me look at that, and I'll try to kind of set the stage as far as the rates per acre. All right, we're looking at 2 ounce to the acre for this generic Valor. So we want 2 ounce to the acre, and the prowl and the dimetric are going to be 2 pint to the acre. So you'll have a pint of 2 pints of prowl, 2 pints of dimetric, and 2 ounce of this generic Valor here. So those are the 3 pre's for pre-emerge soybeans. Now again, I'm not an agronomist, I'm not a spray expert, I'm not somebody that's going to say this is going to work for you. This is just what I do here on the farm. If anybody has any question, your best bet is to talk to your local spray dealer or an agronomist. Of course, I have to put that in there. I don't want somebody to follow this instructions and not have it work. You have to check your local, what you need in your local area. So I'm going to talk about in-crop. In-crop, I think with the 3 pre's, I'm hoping that I only need to rely on 2. So we're putting three different ones out for pre-emerge, which it sounds like a lot, but the rates per acre aren't that much. So when you got the 3 of them together, it really makes a good control on your weeds. So I think in the end, you'd use less this way versus using just one. Once we are emerged, we're going to go to first rate herbicide. It's Dow AgroSciences. These are water-soluble packs. There's 10.6 ounce packs, and you put them in the tank and they dissolve as you agitate it. So the active ingredient in this is pretty good. I had good luck with first rate on mare's tail. This seemed to help, and we're going to mix this with Roundup. So we'll have two different. The Roundup is more or less to take out any grasses in crop, and the first rate will control the broadleaves. As far as the corn, now I also have here jug of non-ionic biodegradable surfactant. Surfactant is a good thing to be putting on your crops, putting in with your herbicide, because the surfactant will help it stick. It won't get washed off right away. If there are any weeds there, it'll stick to the weeds. So, all right, so this is just a basic rundown of my spray program here. Again, this was something I put together with some research, and the rates I might adjust too. I don't want to set those rates of what I told you in stone. If I don't have a whole lot of weed pressure this spring, we're not going to go its higher rate, of course. The next thing is the herbicide storage area that I have. I have it here in the milk house. You need a locked door, which I have. You need ventilation in here, which I do have. And, of course, you need a sign, so you're in compliance. I think this is a pretty good space to store my herbicides as far as keeping them safe and out of reach. So, all right, guys, any questions, feel free to comment. I don't know if I want to keep going into these spray videos. My video on the thoughts on spring went over about, it was a mixed reaction. So, any questions, I'm here, comment below, and we'll go from there.